The night was unusually silent. Not the peaceful silence one seeks after a long day, but a heavy, pressing kind of silence. It clung to the walls, seeped into the skin, and made every heartbeat echo louder than it should. She could almost feel the silence crawling over her arms, weighing on her chest. Outside, the world seemed frozen in a kind of suspension. Even the distant bark of a dog faded too quickly, swallowed by the night. It was the kind of silence that doesn't comfort, it unsettles. In the corner of her room, a dim lamp burned weakly, as though even its flame was weary of existing. Its light was fragile, trembling, and every flicker sent long, uneven shadows crawling across the walls. The shadows stretched and twisted, as if alive, lurking figures in a theater of darkness. Outside the window, the wind brushed against the curtains, whispering in a voice too soft to carry meaning. Yet inside, the stillness reigned supreme. The lamp, the shadows, the soft whisper of the wind, they only added layers to the emptiness she felt pressing in on all sides. She sat at the edge of her bed, her back hunched slightly, her eyes locked on the wall clock. The ticking was merciless, louder than ever, each second like a hammer striking her heart. She pressed her hands together tightly in her lap, as though holding herself still was the only way not to break. Thoughts swirled in her mind, memories half forgotten, regrets that burned sharp, and words she had once failed to say. Time had been her companion, yes, guiding her through countless days. But tonight it was her tormentor, each tick reminding her of everything she had lost. And then, cutting through the suffocating stillness, it rang. The sharp sound startled her, sending a shiver racing down her spine. For a moment she froze, unable to move. The ringing felt out of place, like a foreign sound in a world that had forgotten noise. It wasn't a digital ringtone. No cheerful chimes, no synthetic melody. No, this was the deep, shrill cry of an old rotary dial telephone, black and heavy, the kind people kept decades ago. It sat in the corner of her room, almost forgotten, preserved like a relic from another era. She had never disconnected it. Friends once asked her why she kept it, but she never had a clear answer. Maybe, deep down, she had always known she was waiting for it to ring, waiting for this exact moment. The ringing cut the night into sharp fragments, echoing against the emptiness of the room. Her heart leapt violently in her chest, each beat nearly painful. She stared at the phone, her breath uneven, her hand trembling before she could even reach out. The shadows on the wall seemed to lean closer, urging her to act. Finally, with a hesitant motion, she picked up the receiver. "Hello?" she whispered. Her voice was so fragile it barely seemed to leave her lips. It was the voice of someone afraid, afraid of what might answer, afraid of what silence might mean. For a few seconds, there was nothing. Just the faint hum of the line, and her own breath echoing back at her. Then, suddenly, a reply. A voice. "I'm here." The words were simple, but the sound of them struck her like lightning. She froze, her entire body rigid, as though time itself had stopped for her. Her breath caught in her throat. That voice. She knew it instantly, though years had passed. Familiar, haunting, like a ghost she had never stopped dreaming of. She had buried it deep within the corridors of memory, locked it away, convinced herself she would never hear it again. Yet here it was, alive, breaking through her silence. It was him. The man she had once loved with every part of her being. The man she lost, not because he left, but because she had been silent when it mattered. Pride, hesitation, fear, they had cost her everything. Her eyes widened, shimmering in the dim glow of the lamp. Her lips trembled as she tried to form words but failed. Her lungs refused to work properly, it was as if breathing itself had become impossible. She clutched the receiver tighter, afraid that if she loosened her grip, the moment would vanish like smoke. Finally, her voice broke through, fragile but trembling with emotion. "You, after all these years?" Her words were laced with disbelief, wonder, and sorrow all at once. Tears blurred her vision, spilling down her cheeks before she could stop them. Her heart pounded violently, torn between the ache of the past and the fragile hope of the present. On the other end, his voice carried something she could feel even without seeing him, a quiet smile, and a wound that had never healed. "I couldn't leave without hearing you again, not once." The words hung in the air, stretching across years of silence, cutting through the weight of time itself. In that moment, the distance of years collapsed, leaving only two hearts, wounded, waiting, and finally speaking again. Message. This story reminds us that time is fragile, and silence can be the greatest thief of all. Pride, hesitation, and unspoken words often steal away the people we love most. Years may pass, but regrets linger, echoing louder than the ticking of any clock. So, speak before it's too late. Tell the people you love what they mean to you. A single word today can save you from a lifetime of silence tomorrow. Because sometimes, the phone may never ring again. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Text to Heart for more inspiring and emotional stories.